we're going to be working on a spider today. All you're going to need is a skinny Sharpie or a black marker. You can use a crayon, pen, pencil, whatever you have, and a pencil. We're just going to sketch a little with our pencil, and then most of our work is going to be done in our Sharpie. The first thing that we're going to start with, kind of in the middle of our paper, the body of our spider is not going to be super big because we want our legs to be pretty big. We're just going to kind of start with a straight line. That we're going to kind of curve. I'm just like sketching with my pencil because we're going to go back and add the details with Sharpie. From here, we're going to add this part of the body so it kind of goes out and it's wider at the top, almost like a Christmas light bulb. So it's wider and then it gets skinnier as it goes down. So when we're starting out, it's kind of like a light bulb. We're not going to add much for the legs with our pencil, but I do want you to kind of just draw a line like up. And then from the top part, we're going to go up and over. And from this top part, you're going to come out and up. And then out and down. And then from the body, down. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Try to keep them symmetrical. Again, does not have to be perfect. You just want them to be sort of the same. And this is just our sketch, so it doesn't have to be perfect anyways, because we're going to go back and add the details with our Sharpie. So once you have this part, you're ready to start with your Sharpie. We're going to go ahead and trace kind of basically how our pencil line is. You want this to be kind of sketchy. We've done some drawings like this before, so you don't want it just a solid line because you want this thing to look kind of like he has some fur. So we're just going to kind of outline around the body with just this little sketchy line, so short, choppy little marks. And then you can go back and erase if you want the pencil lines that you have on the body. So after you have that, we're going to start adding some details. So the first thing I want you to add is a little triangle on top of the head, and we're just going to kind of sketch and fill it in so there's some white showing. And then we're going to kind of fill in with our short little sketch marks on either side of this so it has some white showing through, but it's not a perfect outline. We want to keep our lines for this whole project short and kind of choppy so that it looks furry. We're going to draw a little kind of rectangle just to give him some little highlights and details. So I just drew a rectangle and two rectangles on the side. And then we're going to use our short little choppy lines like fur to color in the rest of the body. Of the spider. So I'm letting a lot of white showing through, but I'm just using short little choppy marks going around our little shapes we drew. I'm adding them to the outline so he looks furry kind of on the outside edge of his body. Like this. And then we're going to start to work on the antennas and the legs. So the first thing we're going to do is kind of where you had your pencil on. We're just going to create the antennas, and just like we filled in the body, a lot of this we're going to do the exact same. We're just using these short little choppy lines to kind of color it in. And we're going to do the same thing with the legs. So you're going to come out and up. I'm just kind of outlining around where our pencil line was. And for this part of the leg, we're going to do kind of a darker and then a lighter. And then a darker and a lighter. We just want to give it some dimension so it looks more realistic. So you want to fill in a little heavier every other spot. And I'm kind of going outside of my outline so it still looks kind of furry. So that's why you see me kind of coloring outside the outline. So I'm trying to do a thicker outline and then a more choppy. Just to make him look a little furry. And we're going to do this for all our legs. So we're just going to repeat the steps that we just did. You don't really need to erase your pencil lines, because you're coloring kind of on top of them. And the legs, again, don't have to be perfect. You just want them to be kind of similar in their shape and the way that they look and where they're at on the body. And then we'll do one more. So once you have all your legs drawn, you're just going to go in just like we did and kind of fill in with some short little lines. And you could do the whole thing. So like I'm just going to show you one example. You could fill the whole thing in with these little furry lines and then go back and add your dark spots. That might be easier to do instead of trying to do it as you go. So I'm just going to color this whole leg in with these light little choppy lines. And then I'll go back and fill in some more solid places like this on each leg. So I'm just going to go in with my light little lines, making him furry like this. And then you're just going to go in and make your dark spots every little bit. So you're just skipping a little space like this. We're going to do that for all of our legs. So this is more of kind of a sketchy, which we've done a few of these kind of projects. It's more sketchy with the Sharpie, but it actually turns out looking pretty cool because it's shaded. So it looks like this. And then we're going to start on the other legs. So you want to do the same thing. Make them furry. And then go back and add more detail. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want it to look realistic. So there you have your spider. I'm just going to sign my name right up under him. Make sure you sign yours too.